I think we start with a little humor and just recognize that handing a book to a stressed out leader and saying this will fix your problems is the worst thing we could do. Hey, why don't you spend all this extra time you don't have and read this book? I'm sure it's going to be enlightening. So I probably would be mindful of not just saying go read something. I would, though, remind all the listeners to this show, and maybe this particular person you're talking about, that this book, like all my books, is really written for the busy leader. I've got that mindset when I write. So my chapters are 5-minute chapters with very clear best practices. This is the issue. This is what you can do about it. Go forth and make it happen. And I challenge you with very specific accountability at the end of the chapter. So if I were to encounter this leader, I would say, hey, I do have a book for you, but what I'd like you to do is really go through the table of contents and let's pick out a couple of the particular topics that would be relevant. And then what I'd love for you to do is after you read one or two of these, digest it. And then I want to have a one-on-one with you next week and talk about what you may have gleaned from this. And I really want to go on this journey with you. So this book that I want to give you, this Becoming a Thoughtful Leader book, there's so much in there that can help. I want you to pick one or two things and then let me be your Sherpa, your guide. I'm going to go with you on this journey. Let's learn together. But I really want to see if this creates some great conversations you and I can have to help you be effective and feel better and calmer about what you're doing. Two chapters that come to mind. There's a chapter called Aspirational versus Actual Priorities, because it strikes me that this leader's got his priorities way out of whack. And that particular chapter is all about how do you take that aspirational list of priorities, the things that we all think we want to do, should do, could do, and instead of the reality of just going to work and doing all the work stuff first, how do we help this leader rethink how they plan their day and prioritize? So that's a very useful chapter on getting time management under control. I have another chapter on accountability. In fact, I've got two chapters on accountability that come at it very differently that could really help this leader start to rethink how he holds himself and those people around him accountable. So I think going back to my point, Brandon, I would give the book with the sort of the lead in, I'm going to give this to you as a tool. I'm going to help you use this. We're going to do it together. Let's talk next week after you've digested a chapter or two.